Like moms on Mother's Day, Derek Jeter is second to none, and now the former Yankee captain is the 21st number to be retired in Monument Park.
This is one of those special days that you'll never forget, and when you have this dream of playing baseball and playing for the Yankees, having your number retired is never part of it. So this is all icing on the cake for me. It's a special day. I mean, that's even now. What do you say? I mean, number was retired by the Yankees. It's hard to believe.
I think people get a kick out of asking me who was the best player you ever managed. And Derek, it's an easy choice for me. And the interesting part about it, I managed for close to 30 years, and I can bet you that probably every single one of those other players I managed never resented that.
If you ever needed a big hit in a situation, and especially in the postseason, those are hard at bats to come by, and hard at bats under pressure. And Derek was the absolute best at handling those at-bats.
Derek would do anything to win. It didn't matter what it was. He would do anything to win, and that's the only reason he came to the ballpark. So he would sacrifice his body. He would tell the managers fibs about how he felt. He was ready to go every day.
Very fitting for a guy that did everything for this organization, and the guy that really was the leader of our group.
Just being here the last few days and walking around or going to eat, and all the kind words that I've gotten from Yankee fans. Every time I come back, the fans have been awesome, and especially these last few days.
For us to fight back like that, we were down a couple times, and for us to fight back, just a huge head for head, clear the bases, really good.
I think you just tell yourself to relax and try to take a deep breath and keep everything in perspective. I mean, when you haven't got a hit in a while, it feels like it's been, 5 years since you've gotten a hit. So just, try to keep in perspective, calm down, take a breath, and, swing a good pitch.
I think that's feel good, and we're not hitting well the first two games, but we have to know that we face the best two pitchers in the league, and it's good to be back to start hit like we're doing it.
For us to put up a big inning like that, we did it against some pretty good pitchers too. We saw how good Davinsky was the other night against us. He's got great stuff. So for us to do that, big hit by Matty, big hit by Castro, it just kept going. Gardy gets it going, Ellsbury. Everyone contributed that inning, it seemed like. So it's a good vibe in there, and it should be.
The Yankees were able to salvage only one game of the four-game set with Houston over the weekend. The Bombers dropped the second game of the doubleheader Sunday night before traveling to Kansas City this week. Alex Rodriguez didn't say whether he was invited to Derek Jeter's #2 retirement ceremony at Yankee Stadium. The ex-teammates have a frosty relationship stemming from their playing days. A-Rod had said publicly that he would be spending Mother's Day in Miami, but he was seen late Sunday night back in New York with Jennifer Lopez. A-Rod had some TV appearances scheduled for early Monday. Rumors are swirling that A-Rod and J-Lo might be getting married. As for Rodriguez missing the ceremony, there were other notable Yankees not in attendance. But anytime it's A-Rod and Jeter, it's a story. The Yankees have certainly been the surprise story of the American League. Even with the rough series against Houston, they bounced back in KC. The Yankees smacked around the Royals 11-7 Wednesday night. They look to complete the three-game sweep on Thursday, but Dan Duffy tossed 7 innings of three-hit ball. Mike Moustakas hit a 3-run homer, and the Royals beat the Yankees 5-1 to avoid a 3-game sweep last night. The Yankees will be in Tampa this weekend. Kudos to Yankees second baseman Starlin Castro. He's been crushing fastballs and controlling the lower part of the strike zone. The 27-year-old is off to a hot start and thinks he could win a batting title. He's been 1-2 in that race for the better part of the season's first 2 months. Yankees owner Hal Steinbrenner doesn't want to trade his team's top prospects, but he's open to adding players at the deadline, according to reports. Still, I don't expect the Bombers to trade star prospect Gleyber Torres. He is now considered the second best prospect in baseball, number 2. That's a good sign for a Yankee shortstop. However, Torres was removed from AA Trenton's game Wednesday against New Hampshire for not hustling. Torres believed a ball he hit to left field was going to be foul, but it landed in fair territory. He lost the ball. It wasn't on purpose, General Manager Brian Cashman said after reading Trent manager's Bobby Mitchell's game report Thursday morning. Cashman said he wasn't worried about Torres' attitude, but was pleased with Mitchell's action. More of the same for the Mets on Wednesday, namely that Matt Harvey just isn't good right now. He scuffled through 5 1/3 innings, issuing 4 walks as his ERA rose to .556. Even if the Mets wanted to trade him, good luck finding any takers. The Arizona Diamondbacks then won on Chris Herman's 11th inning homer off Rafael Montero as they swept the series and handed the Mets their 7th loss in a row. The Mets will be back at Citi Field tonight following an off day Thursday. The Mets open a weekend series against Mike Trout and the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. On the NBA hardwood, the Knicks are one of 7 teams participating in the Orlando Summer League per the team's website. Their first game will be July 1st. Even with Walt Clyde Frazier and his lucky rabbit foot on hand, the Knicks dropped a spot to number 8 in the NBA draft lottery Tuesday night. It appears to be a deep draft, which could help the Knicks get somebody good. Boston won the first pick. The LA Lakers will have the second pick. Star playmaker Lonzo Ball said he would only work out for the LA Lakers. He and his $500 kicks could be LA bound with the number 2 pick. The Celtics survived Washington in 7 games and are now down 1-0 in the Eastern Conference Finals. The defending champion Cleveland. LeBron James was simply awesome in Game 1. Game 2 is tonight. Game 3 of the Western Finals is Saturday night. Streaking Golden State is up 2-0 on San Antonio. On the gridiron, what little the Giants saw during Paul Perkins' rookie year was enough to make him their number 1 running back. It's risky, but could pay huge dividends if he improves. The Giants missed out on LeGarrette Blount, who signed with Philadelphia this week. Among the 4 players earning spots on the Giants' 90-man training camp roster was Carson Newman's Kevin Snead, the fastest man in college football, quote unquote. The super speedy wide receiver could be dangerous in the special teams game as a returner. Time for some quick hitters from around the world of sports. The long-rumored bout between undefeated American boxing champion Floyd Mayweather and mixed martial arts champion Conor McGregor is halfway to becoming a reality after the Irishman signed a deal for the fight. It was announced on Wednesday night. UFC President Dana White broke the news during a television interview for TNT following the NBA's playoff game. The 28-year-old McGregor is the biggest pay-per-view draw in UFC mixed martial arts, while the 40-year-old Mayweather retired in 2015 with a 49-0 record. The 2 best horses in the Preakness will be eye-to-eye coming out of the starting gate this weekend. There's no avoiding each other for Kentucky Derby winner Always Dreaming and rival Classic Empire. Always Dreaming is the early 4-5 favorite for the race Saturday at Pimlico, where he'll break from the number 4 post. Classic Empire is the 3-1 second choice and will be right next door in the number 5 hole. Former star pitcher Curt Schilling seems pretty convinced he's got the whole Adam Jones situation figured out. Now a radio host, Schilling, the former ace of the Red Sox, expressed skepticism after Jones, an outfielder with Baltimore, said he heard racial taunts during a game in Boston recently. After Jones brushed off those comments, Schilling again doubled down, calling Jones a liar and saying the outfielder has an agenda. The Red Sox have apologized to Jones and the Orioles for the incident that Schilling says did not happen. A suburban Chicago man died after falling from a railing at Wrigley Field on Tuesday night. Richard Garrity, a 42-year-old marketing manager from Wheaton, Illinois, was attending a work event with his wife and colleagues from Heineken. A statement from the Chicago Cubs said Garrity fell around 11 p.m., 40 minutes after the end of the Cubs' win over the Cincinnati Reds. He was taken by ambulance to a hospital where he died on Wednesday afternoon. Sad news from Chicago. 2006 MotoGP world champion and current World Superbikes Championship rider Nicky Hayden is reportedly in critical condition following a road accident on Wednesday in Italy. Hayden, 34, was out training on his bicycle when he was struck by a car, leaving him with chest and head trauma. Reports are saying he suffered serious head trauma. The man races motorcycles at death-defying speeds for a living, but is clinging to life after an incident like that. Black History Month has come and gone, but for Tina Charles, it's just more than any particular month. The New York Liberty Star is sporting special edition sneakers. She wore them last night. It's not just a month, it's a movement, is written on the inside of the shoes for Tina Charles, while Living with Love is inscribed across the bottom. The WNBA season opened last week. The Liberty opened with a victory, but lost Thursday night to the 2-0 Minnesota Lynx 90-71. The Liberty will be at Phoenix on Tuesday night. Earlier this week, ESPN announced several changes to its lineup. The most notable being the end of ESPN Radio's Mike and Mike, which has been on the air for 17 years and is often cited as the show that laid the groundwork for the national sports radio we hear today. The Columbia Fireflies are benefiting from having Tim Tebow in the outfield, but they're not the only ones. The Mets farmhand is bringing fans in record numbers to clubs throughout the South Atlantic League. Tebow was in Lakewood, New Jersey earlier this week. Many fans traveled over an hour and bought tickets weeks in advance to see Tim Tebow. The New York Islanders have hired Luke Richardson as an assistant coach on Doug Waite's staff. In the NHL semifinals, Anaheim and Nashville are knotted at 2-2. Anaheim tied the series following a 3-2 overtime victory Thursday night. Ottawa leads Pittsburgh 2-1. In the other series, the Rangers can attest to how tough the Senators are. In boxing, Diego De La Hoya, the first cousin of Oscar De La Hoya, improves to 18-0 with a unanimous decision over Eric Ruiz. And those are the headlines. We hit the C-list for a quick Yankee note. The first place Pinstripers are a game and a half up on Baltimore in the American League East. We are pretty much a quarter of the way through the season with June 1st quickly approaching. Now, of course, there's still a ton of season left, and the Yankees are taking advantage of some of the weaker teams. They might need to make adjustments at the trade deadline, but I hope they don't touch any of the major prospects, especially guys like Clint Frazier and the aforementioned Torres. And here's why. Look at Aaron Judge. He's clearly been Mr. C-list lately, but he's a perfect example of talent coming together and giving it time to come together. Like most Yankee fans, I don't blame you for wanting to go all in, but Brian Cashman and the Yanks should stick to the plan because clearly this team isn't going anywhere, even if they don't win the World Series this year. Judge struck out a ton in a short stint last year, but when he connected, it went a mile. This season, he made adjustments to his stride and improved his pitch selection and really looks like a lot more of a confident hitter. But while the comparisons to a player like Derek Jeter may not be fair for a 25-year-old rookie, the truth of the matter is Judge has some of those same intangibles that made Jeter even more valuable than the stats on the back of his baseball card. Next time you go to a Yankee game, watch Judge make his way in from right field. He stops and waits for the left fielder and the center fielder every inning, providing some fist pumps. Then he enters the dugout after they do. Judge is a natural leader. The Yankees have been rebuilding their core, and he is the centerpiece of that rebuild. Now it's time for the Yankees. All rise. Judge and the Yankees are in session. That's your look at sports. I'm Bobby Sig.